Good morning, and welcome to the commencement ceremony for the Uniformed Services University Class of 2024. I am Colonel Al Kincaid, and I'm the Brigade Commander for the university. Before we begin today's ceremony, I have two announcements. First, please take a moment to silence all electronic devices for the duration of the ceremony. Second, all in the audience are asked to remove their hats during the national anthem, the invocation, and the benediction. Thank you, and now please rise for the academic procession. The placement of this mace by Hospital Corpsman First Class Ashley Person, Senior Service Member of the Year, on behalf of the University President, Dr. Jonathan Woodson, opens the 45th commencement of the Uniformed Services University. Today's ceremony recognizes years of study by our students, and it represents an expression of service to our nation at home and abroad in military and civilian life. Our students have dedicated themselves to learning to care for those in harm's way and to improving the human condition. We are here today to honor and reward them. Founded in 1972, the university is celebrating 52 years of excellence in academics, research, and leadership. Many of those represented in our procession today are either founding or very early members of our faculty and administration. Please remain standing for the presentation of the colors by the University Brigade Color Guard and for the national anthem by the President's own, the United States Marine Corps Band, under the direction of Master Sergeant James Holt III. Please feel free to join in singing the national anthem. Present the colors. Retire the colors. The chaplain for today's ceremony, Lieutenant Commander Anthony Keniaru, will deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. Almighty and ever-living God, we gather here this morning to celebrate, honor, and reward this class of 2024. Bend your ear to us as we say. Thank you for watching over these students as they navigated their way through this unique university, soon to be their alma mater. For the many who supported them, families, friends, and colleagues, we thank you. For the faculty and staff who took time to mold and sharpen them intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually, we thank you. Thank you for their contribution to the university and for what they will continue to give to this great nation. Thank you for giving them patience as they learned how to confront and manage the human condition. Grace this ceremony with your presence as we collectively say, well done, class of 2024, receive God's abundant blessings. It is in your strong name that we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, Dr. Louis Pangaro, Professor of Medicine and Health Professions Education.
Thank you, Colonel Kincaid. I would ask that you all please join me in thanking the University Brigade Color Guard and the United States Marine Band. Let us also thank our distinguished guests, faculty, staff of the Uniformed Services University for their continued support of this next generation of healthcare providers and scholars. At this time, let us also pause for a moment of silence to honor the men and women of the military health system who have given their lives in the line of duty and in service to the country. Today's ceremony is a formal recognition of remarkable achievements. In addition to our graduates listed in the program today, we'll also honor several students and faculty who have received awards for their significant contributions to medicine, surgery, dentistry, graduate education, and to allied health sciences. These individual awards are described in your program. Dr. Jonathan Woodson, President of the University, will now introduce our commencement speaker.
Well, good morning. Boy, that was a little weak. This is a day that we need to celebrate. It's a great day to celebrate the academic achievements of all of our graduates today and all of the folks who supported them throughout their academic journey, and a celebration of their future service and academic achievements and provision of health care to better this country. So let's give it a real round of applause. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Yeah, we need to make some noise, and I already heard the young ones up there in the bleachers. Go ahead and make some noise up there as well. That's all good. So welcome everyone to this year's commencement activities. Our guest speaker today is Mr. Bob Woodruff, ABC News correspondent and a great supporter of military medicine. Mr. Woodruff joined ABC News in 1996 and has covered major stories throughout the country and around the world for decades. Previously, Mr. Woodruff was an anchor on the weekend edition of World News Tonight and one of ABC News' top correspondents. Before moving to New York in 2002, Mr. Woodruff worked out of ABC News' London bureau, covering conflicts throughout Europe and Africa. He succeeded Peter Jennings as an anchor of ABC World News Tonight in December 2005. On January 29, 2006, while reporting on U.S. and Iraqi security forces, he was severely injured by a roadside bomb that struck his vehicle near Taji, Iraq. In February 2007, just 13 months after being wounded, he returned to ABC News with his first on-air report. To Iraq and back, Bob Woodruff reports. The hour-long primetime documentary chronicled his traumatic brain injury, his painstaking recovery, and the plight of thousands of service members returning from Iraq and Afghanistan with similar injuries. Since 2015, he has been an ABC's primary correspondent throughout Asia, especially in China. and he's done wonderful work for military servicemen and their families through the Woodruff Foundation. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Bob Woodruff.
Thank you, President Woodson. Appreciate it. I know there are a lot of people behind the stage here. We're talking. I think they're all concerned. I'm going to do like a Brady roast here. I don't know how many saw it, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to talk about politics. I also had thought, well, should I write this down on a script or should I just wing it or something? I think, you know what, I would just go on forever if I didn't write it down, so I decided to do it. Nobody ever complains about a speech being too short, only too long, so try to be short and sweet. You know, this is almost like a reunion to come back and see a lot of friends here. I lived with my family in Westchester, up north now, but now I lived here in this area in, what was the year that I lived here? This was back in 2000. And it was there, that was 24 years ago. I was covering the Justice Department for ABC News. Then 6 years later, I moved here again when I was blown up in Iraq and moved into the Bethesda Naval Hospital in a medically induced coma for 36 days. So I like the first house a lot better 24 years ago than it was 18 years ago. You know, I want to do the speech too without doing the cliche kind of commencement speech, you know, follow your dreams, don't do it for the money, you know, follow your passion. I don't want to do that kind of talk. So you can either like what I say or hate what I say, but I just wanted to tell you if I could because it's a story. So the first thing I want to talk about is that is one of the neurosurgeons who saved me and rebuilt my skull is an alum of the school, Dr. Rocco Amanda. I don't know if any of you know him. After he graduated from here in 1990, he served in the Army from Afghanistan to Iraq, and most recently volunteering his time in Ukraine. He has become one of the top surgeons in the entire world, as many of you will be as well. Back then, Rocco knew that my surgery was only the beginning. I felt so lucky to be alive, but within weeks, I went into deep depression, knowing that I will never be the same as I was before. I had been the anchor of ABC News, World News Tonight, which meant that I knew every name and I could memorize entire scripts. But now with severe aphasia, I lost almost all of this. In fact, in those first few weeks after I woke up, I couldn't remember the names of 2 of my little kids. The good news is that although my brain was badly injured, my body was physically intact, I did not lose my physical skills. And I remember telling Rocco that really I should have been a surgeon instead of a television reporter. I could fix people's bodies and their brains with my hands and would not have to be able to talk much about it. But he reminded me they can imagine my patients if I came up to fix their knee and I couldn't remember exactly what that joint was called and what the things I was going to reattach. Let's just say that I'm not applying to the Uniformed Services University Medical School. I can certainly joke now because I am alive because of what you people do. You miracle workers. Sometimes I tell people that at least there is one good thing about war, and that is medical advancements that are developed on the sands and on the pavements in war zones. I was told many times that if I had been hit in a similar way 5 years ago, I would be dead. For me and my family, our lives changed in an instant on January 29th, 2006. I flew to Baghdad for the 7th time during this war, and this time to cover President Bush's State of the Union address, largely because the topic was about the current situation in Iraq. While others were covering the speech in D.C., I wanted to witness the war zone in person by being embedded in a joint operation with the Iraqis and the U.S. soldiers working side by side. Just outside Baghdad and Taji, we drove down the road in tanks, and ours was what we didn't know would be in the top, in the front. After visiting multiple villages, I decided to stand up on top of the tank, along with my cameraman, Doug Vogt, to talk about the situation And next to us also was an Iraqi gunner who was watching the road carefully. When he told us to get back inside the tank, it was too late. Within 3 seconds, we were hit by an improvised explosive device from the left. I was knocked out by the air pressure, followed by the metal, followed by the stones, penetrating my brain. Doug, my cameraman, he fell back into the tank, and I was quickly pulled inside by my producer and my sound man. I was unconscious for about 2 minutes, and when I fell down into the tank, I looked up at my producer, Vinny Malhotra, and I asked him, "Are we alive?" He said, "You're alive." And that's the last thing I really remembered until I woke up 36 days later in Bethesda Naval. After the explosion, all of the US and the Iraqi soldiers came out of the vehicle, and immediately the insurgents opened fire from all three different directions. Our team fired back. We don't really know to this day whether they killed them or they ran. But our soldiers then got out of the vehicles, came in and saved our lives. They took us out, put us in a Bradley vehicle. It took us a mile down the road to get into helicopter to be saved. They would not have had room for us because they assumed that I, without question, was going to die anyway. But we were taken out by helicopter to Baghdad Hospital. They assumed I was going to I'd be dead there too, but nevertheless, they took us to Balad so we can get brain injury surgery. Balad, they had to remove 16 centimeters of my skull, a craniectomy, to let it expand and to breathe. Believe it or not, all of this took only 37 minutes from the time of the explosion to the arrival at the surgery table. The craniectomy surgery started within 2 hours. You know, this was no Vietnam. The truth is that these exact surgeries and these temporary tents were happening multiple times a day, every day. I was there during the peak of the war. The doctors and the nurses knew exactly what to do, and every day they were learning new techniques, taking new risks. And by the way, there are no malpractice lawsuits. Hopefully, very soon you will get these unique kinds of jobs your jobs will be profitable, yes, but also extremely satisfying because you are serving the patients and the families and the country. You know, friends of mine have often asked me if I regret over going to Iraq. I tell them that I believe that this is a kind of service for reporters to witness what is truly happening behind the curtain. But I also tell them that when that IED exploded, my advice is you should duck. Others have also asked me if I was an irresponsible father for leaving my 4 kids and my wife behind while I head off to the war zones. I thought about this over and over again. You know, every parent in the military have thought about it too. But after this happened, I promised my entire family that I will never, ever cover wars again. But I had a negotiation with my wife and said, at least I can cover conflicts. So that's what I've been doing. You know, it's true that I didn't want to go, to give up the job when I was injured like this. You know, right after I woke up, I just tried to find words, speak sentences in any language, anything I could find. If I couldn't, I felt embarrassed. I felt I'd given up my past. So I had to come up with one word in any way, and if I ran out of words, I would just make up something. My wife always tells me, right after I was wounded, I sat up and I couldn't think of anything. I said, Bob Woodruff, ABC News. But seriously, on our 3rd floor of Bethesda Naval Hospital, I saw dozens of other soldiers and Marines, many of them really in their 20s. And many of them are wounded much worse than me. So right there, my wife and my brothers decided we're going to start a foundation to help those who've been wounded in these wars, who leave the hospitals, return to their villages in a country that has not fully prepared for a war like this, for wounds like these. We thought the foundation would last a year or so, but it's still going. So far, we have raised about $200 million supporting and creating hundreds of projects in every state, helping more than 20 million military veterans. And of course, there are the family members as well. For me, this has been the most satisfying thing I've ever done in my life. This is something good about the war for me. I also need to say that because of what happened to me on that Iraqi road, I have gotten the chance to become a brother of those like you in the military, in the medical world. It was a world I didn't know much about before. My son Mac, who's now 32 years old, has become a cinematographer, a shooter. In fact, he has gone to Ukraine 3 times already during this war. And he wanted to go back with me a year ago to Iraq to see that exact spot where I'd been hit, where my cameraman Doug had been hit. He was 14 years old when this happened. Both of us really wanted to just get this out of our soul. And at that spot, we met that Iraqi gunner that I told you about earlier, who was next to Doug and I on top of the tank when we were hit. I never knew exactly what had happened to him. But at that moment, we hugged and shared stories while he showed us his 2 middle fingers that were completely blown off. What he told us that he was holding the gun's metal grip by his crotch when the bomb hit. Without that grip, his balls instead of his fingers would have been blown off. But there's always good news. He told us that since then he has had 6 children. Yeah, he's well practiced. That brings me back to my really very close friend Rocco. You know, exactly 18 years ago this month, he replaced my skull with a brand new technology. I didn't know really exactly what it was until yesterday when I asked Rocco to email me and explain exactly what was special about this, 16 centimeters of my skull that was, different than others. So here's the way he explained it, and this is his, what he wrote, quote, it is called polished PMMA, polymethyl methacrylate CAD-CAM, computer-assisted design and computer-assisted modeled from the 3D printing lab at Walter Reed, ! And is now commercially available, ! End quote. So there are many other people who have asked me what this new skull of mine feels like, what it smells like, what it looks like. So I tell them that you have the right to touch it. You can touch my fake skull, my fake part of my head. You can feel the little valley in the middle of it, only in exchange for a $20 donation to our foundation. So with that, congratulations to all of you for graduating, and thank you so much for serving the world and the country and people like us that have gone through so much. Thank you again.
Well, thank you, Bob. You're truly inspiring in so many different ways. Your words have resonated deeply with us, particularly many of us who served at Launch Stool or overseas. To hear the other side of the story is truly inspiring. And we're truly grateful that you've graced us with your presence and honored us with your commencement speech today. On behalf of the university faculty, staff, and students, I'm pleased to present you with a token of our appreciation for your unwavering dedication to military health system and to our service members, veterans, and families. It is now my pleasure to welcome and introduce the distinguished members of the university's Board of Regents. I ask that the board members stand when your name is called and that the audience hold applause until all have been noted. Dr. Nancy Dickey, Chair. The Honorable Lester Martinez Lopez, Assistant Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs. The Honorable James Peake, former Secretary of the VA. Lieutenant General Mary Izagari, Surgeon General of the United States Army. Rear Admiral Rick Friedman, Deputy Surgeon General, representing the Surgeon General of the United States Navy. Lieutenant General Robert Miller, Surgeon General of the United States Air Force and the United States Space Force. Rear Admiral Denise Hinton, Deputy Surgeon General, representing the Surgeon General of the United States. And I also want to note the presence of Dr. Chip Rice, President Emeritus of Uniformed Services University. Please give them a round of applause. Dr. Dickey, would you join me, please?
The Board of Regents Award is the highest honor the university can bestow on a graduating student. Outstanding students were nominated from the F. Edward Hebert School of Medicine and its graduate education programs, the Daniel K. Inouye Graduate School of Nursing, and the Postgraduate Dental College.
At this time, Dr. Martinez Lopez will come forward to join President Woodson and Dr. Dickey in congratulating the outstanding medical and graduate students from the School of Medicine and the Graduate School of Nursing. Ensign Lance Koljat, please come forward. Second Lieutenant Sarah Walsh, please come forward. Major Nicholas Rumel, please come forward. In addition, Captain Aaron Colamarino of the Postgraduate Dental College received the Patrick D. Scully DDS Board of Regents Award in a ceremony previously held on campus. The Carol J. Johns Medal is the highest honor the faculty can bestow on a colleague. It is presented to the professor across all USU schools and colleges whose accomplishments emulate Dr. John's spirit in advancing the reputation of the university and in promoting excellence in its faculty and students. This year's recipient is Dr. Saibal Day, Associate Dean for Graduate Education and Professor in the Department of Biochemistry. Dr. Day, please stand to be recognized. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Andrew Raymond, Interim Dean of the College of Allied Health Sciences, to the podium to present the College of Allied Health Sciences candidate for his degree.
President Woodson, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Allied Health Sciences, I present the following candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Health Sciences. Candidate, please rise.
I am pleased to announce that this candidate marks the inaugural participation of a graduate from the College of Allied Health Sciences in this ceremony. He is representative of more than 4,074 degrees that have been awarded since the college's inception. By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, upon recommendation of the faculty, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Science in Health Sciences with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Welcome to your new responsibilities in healthcare. Please come forward.
Ryan James Schaefer. It is now my privilege to invite Dr. Carol Romano, Dean of the Daniel K. Inouye Graduate School of Nursing, to the podium to announce the Graduate School of Nursing Student and Faculty Awards and to present the Graduate School of Nursing candidates for degrees.
The Esprit de Corps Award recipient is selected annually by the members of the graduating class to recognize one of their own. The individual selected is not listed in your program because by tradition it remains a secret until this moment. This award is presented by Dr. Jay Maiden, the Assistant Dean for Student Affairs in the Graduate School of Nursing. Dr. Maiden?
Captain Joseph Hargrave. Congratulations. Please come forward.
The following Daniel K. Inouye Graduate School of Nursing faculty members have distinguished themselves by personal example, professional knowledge, and genuine care and concern for each of their students. The award recipients were selected by the nursing graduates and were presented at an awards ceremony held on campus earlier this week. As their names are called, please recognize the awardees. The Outstanding Advanced Practice Registered Nurse Uniformed Faculty Award is given to Commander Kenneth Barber. Commander Barber, please rise to be recognized. The Outstanding Advanced Practice Registered Nurse Civilian Faculty Award is given to Dr. Heather Rivas-Plata. Dr. Rivas-Plata, please rise to be recognized. The Outstanding PhD Faculty Award is given to Dr. Joan Wasserman. Dr. Wasserman, please rise to be recognized. President Woodson, on behalf of the faculty of the Graduate School of Nursing, I present the following candidate for the degree Master of Science in Nursing. Candidate, please rise.
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, upon recommendation of the faculty, I hereby confer upon you the degree Master of Science in Nursing with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Welcome to your new responsibilities in healthcare. Please come forward.
Dr. Jay Maiden will read the graduates' names.
The following graduate is receiving the degree Master of Science in Nursing as Adult Gerontology Clinical Nurse Specialist. Elena Brown.
President Woodson, on behalf of the faculty of the Graduate School of Nursing, I present the following candidates for the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice. Candidates, please rise.
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States and upon recommendation of the faculty, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Welcome to your new responsibilities in healthcare. Please come forward.
The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice as Adult Gerontology Clinical Nurse Specialist. Dr. Bethany Eleanor Atwood. Dr. Gina Leanne Eberhardt. Dr. Joshua Daniel Smith. The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice as Family Nurse Practitioners. Dr. Nathaniel Paul Bryant. Dr. Joshua Dale Calloway. Dr. Jonathan Q. Ching. Dr. Deidre Renee Simmons Dodd. Dr. Dodd is being hooded by her sister, Major Deidre Simmons, a class of 2021 alumni of the Graduate School of Nursing. Dr. Cody Allen Adams LaChapelle. Dr. Cassandra Kathleen Romerheim. Dr. Summer Rose Roche. Dr. Alexis Dion Wolf. Dr. Paul Jung Sun Yi. The following graduates are receiving the dual degree Doctor of Nursing Practice as Family Nurse Practitioners and Women's Health Nurse Practitioners. Dr. Amanda Marie Adams. Dr. Danielle Louise Gagnon. Dr. Laura Lee Johnstedt. Dr. Daniel McCord Regner. Dr. Nicholas Rommel. Dr. Crystal Gail Ruman. Dr. Catherine Lynn Washington. The following graduates are receiving the Doctor of Nursing Practice as Psychiatric Mental Health Nurse Practitioners. Dr. Nathan Christopher Udderwood. Dr. Jenny Elizabeth Allen. Dr. Timothy William Atizer. Dr. Tiffany Monique Chapman. Dr. Anna Marie Crane. Dr. Dennis Eric Doring. Dr. Eric James Foster. Dr. Joseph H. Hargrave. Dr. Laura Ashley McCoy. Dr. Kimberly Marie Maggio. Dr. Sheila O'Connor. Dr. Talia Therese Peggins. Dr. Josephine Rup Nareen. Dr. Laban Tabatat. The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice as Registered Nurse Anesthetist. Dr. Melissa Jean Bell. Dr. Robert Roland Bradford III. Dr. Robert T. Brown. Dr. Kelsey Kate Dasinker. Dr. Brian J. Dunford. Dr. Brian Edward Durant. Dr. Ahelia Felix Camacho. Dr. Byron James Field. Dr. Jacob Elidor Foray. Dr. Adam Colby Frazier. Dr. Gary Tobias Galicinel. Dr. Daryl Andrew Fabella Garcia. Dr. Andrew John Guillermo. Dr. Matthew Robbins Charles Grittis. Dr. Alexandra Kristen Hansen. Dr. Andrew Robert Hansen. Dr. Amanda Gail Higdon. Dr. Carolyn Lee. Dr. Myra Monarez. Dr. Robert Greg Nelson. Dr. Christopher Fan. Dr. Sean Patrick Pruitt. Dr. Joni Roberts. Dr. David J. Ramaka. Dr. Joshua Luther Sally. Dr. David Joseph Scotti. Dr. Julianne Marie Talbot. Dr. Mulugeta Tamerson.
President Woodson, on behalf of the faculty of the Graduate School of Nursing, I present the following candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Candidates, please rise.
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States and upon recommendation of the faculty, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Welcome to your new responsibilities in healthcare. Please come forward.
The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Nursing. Dr. Candace Eunice Hughley. Dr. Sarah Nicole Nevels. Dr. Rosemary Summer Payne.
Congratulations, Doctor.
Thank you, Dean Romano and Dr. Maiden. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Saibal Day, the Associate Dean for Graduate Education in the Hebert School of Medicine.
The Esprit de Corps Award recipient is selected annually by the members of the graduate program's class to recognize one of their own. It can be awarded to a graduating student or a non-graduating student. This year, there was a tie, so we have two recipients. The first recipient is First Lieutenant Erica Gray from the Medical and Clinical Psychology program. And the second recipient is Ms. Rohini Manikam from the Molecular and Cell Biology graduate program. The recipients were presented with their awards during a ceremony on campus last week. But let us give them a big applause. The School of Medicine graduate programs in biomedical sciences and public health are pleased to announce the Outstanding Biomedical Graduate Educator Award. The recipient of this year's award is Dr. Brian C. Schaefer, Department of Microbiology and Immunology. Dr. Schaefer, please rise to be recognized.
Ms. Laura Bauman, the Assistant Dean for Graduate Student Development and Support, will present the graduates of the graduate programs in biomedical sciences. Dean Eric Elster will join Dean Day in presenting their diplomas. Please note that there are graduates listed in the program who were not able to attend the ceremony today or who will graduate later in the year.
President Woodson, on behalf of the faculty of the graduate programs in biomedical sciences and the Dean of School of Medicine, I present the following candidates for master's degree from the USU School of Medicine graduate education programs. Candidates, please rise.
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, and upon recommendation of the faculty, I hereby confer upon you master's degrees with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Welcome to this distinguished company of scholars. Please come forward.
The following graduates are receiving the degree Master of Education in Health Professions Education. James Mark Hawkins. Regina Dawn Owen. The following graduates are receiving the degree Master of Health Administration and Policy. Brandon Michael Andriot. Wa Tikuk Ho. Pierre Gideon St. Hilaire. The following graduates are receiving the degree Master of Health Professions Education. Caitlin Dora Darcy. William F. Kelly. Elizabeth Vincent Scholes. The following graduates are receiving the degree Master of Science in Public Health. Shunzi Latoria Brooks. Patrick George Fruget. John Ramon Laquerta Santorum. Catherine Elizabeth Seawister.
President Woodson, on behalf of the faculty of the graduate programs in biomedical sciences and the Dean of School of Medicine, I present the following candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Candidates, please rise.
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, and upon recommendation of the faculty, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy, with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Welcome to this honorable company of scholars. Please come forward.
The following graduate is receiving the degree Doctor of Philosophy from Health Professions Education. Dr. Catherine Susan McCohen.
The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Philosophy from the Department of Medical and Clinical Psychology. Dr. Laura R. Aldrich, Dr. Amanda Logan Murray. Dr. Murray is also the recipient of the 2023 inaugural Esprit de Corps Award for the graduate students.
The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Philosophy from the graduate program in Emerging Infectious Diseases. Dr. Gina Marie Deba Crancher. Dr. Christopher Matthew Healy. Dr. Celeste Waman. Dr. Lam Toi Vi Tran Ho. Dr. Victoria Ann Van Niederveen. The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Philosophy from the graduate program in Molecular and Cell Biology. Dr. Bradley Michael Bauman. Dr. Nicholas Ray Briel. Dr. Matthew William Stinson. The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Philosophy from the graduate program in Neuroscience. Dr. Laura Kate Drabushenko. Dr. Gabriel Emiliano Gonzalez. Dr. Alexandra Catherine Yazemski. The following graduate is receiving the degree Doctor of Philosophy from the graduate program in Public Health within the Department of Preventive Medicine and Biostatistics. Dr. Michael Joseph Salone.
Thank you, Dr. Day and Ms. Bauman. At this time, Dr. Dean Eric Elster will announce the School of Medicine Student and Faculty Awards and present the candidates for the Doctor of Medicine program. Description of the awards are in your program.
The Esprit de Corps Award recipient is selected annually by members of the graduating class to recognize one of their own. The individual selected is not listed in your program because, by tradition, it remains secret until this moment. This award is presented by Colonel J. Dinneman, Commandant of the School of Medicine.
Ensign Christopher Popna. Congratulations. Please come forward.
It looks like he deserved that award. The following School of Medicine faculty members have distinguished themselves by personal example, professional knowledge, and deep care and concern for their students. These awards were presented at an award ceremony held on campus last week. The William P. Clements Award, Jr., is presented to the professor who was chosen by the graduating medical students as a uniform faculty educator who exemplifies the principles of excellence in education by personal example and performance. This year's recipient is Lieutenant Commander Brian Ford, Medical Corps, United States Navy, Department of Family Medicine. Lieutenant Commander Ford, please rise to be recognized. This year's recipient of the Outstanding Civilian Educator Award is Dr. Rodrigo Mateo, Department of Surgery. Dr. Mateo, please rise to be recognized. Others. President Woodson, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Medicine, I present the following candidates for the degree Doctor of Medicine. Candidates, please rise.
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, upon recommendation of the faculty, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Medicine with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Welcome to this ancient and honorable profession. Please come forward.
The oath of Hippocrates will now be administered by Colonel Pamela Williams, Associate Dean for Student Affairs.
I invite all physicians present on stage and in the audience to stand and join the medical school graduates in reciting the Hippocratic Oath. Members of the class of 2024, you swore the oath of Hippocrates as you entered this medical school. It has guided your conduct as students of medicine. Physicians and graduates, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear.
That I will be loyal to the profession of medicine.
That I will be loyal to the profession of medicine.
And just and generous to its members.
And just and generous to its members.
That I will lead my life and practice my art.
That I will lead my life and practice my art.
In uprightness and honor.
In uprightness and honor.
And that in whatsoever home I shall enter.
That into whatsoever home I shall enter.
It shall be for the good of the sick and the well.
It shall be for the good of the sick and the well.
And to the utmost of my power.
And to the utmost of my power.
And that I will hold myself aloof from wrong.
And that I will hold myself aloof from wrong.
And from corruption and from tempting of others to vice.
And from corruption and from tempting others to vice.
That I will exercise my art.
That I will exercise my art.
Solely for the cure of my patients and the prevention of disease.
Solely for the cure of my patients and the prevention of disease.
I will give no drugs and perform no operations.
I will give no drugs and perform no operation.
For a criminal purpose, nor suggest such a thing.
For a criminal purpose, nor suggest such a thing.
that whatsoever I shall see or hear in the lives of any person,
that whatsoever I shall see or hear in the lives of any person,
which is not fitting to be spoken, I will keep secret.
which is not fitting to be spoken, I will keep secret.
All these things I do promise.
All these things I do promise.
And in proportion as I am faithful to this oath,
And in proportion as I am faithful to this oath,
may happiness and good repute be ever mine.
may happiness and good repute be ever mine.
The opposite if I shall be forsworn.
The opposite if I shall be forsworn.
Please be seated. The graduating class. The graduating class has selected Dr. Matthew Neely, Department of Surgery, to read their names for this ceremony.
Dr. Joy Abraham. Dr. Olivia Ann Agee. Dr. Daniel Armstrong. Dr. Autumn Augustine. Dr. Zachary Daniel Bailey. Dr. Nicole Barnes. Dr. Austin James Barton. Dr. Caleb Patrick Bateman. Dr. Andrew Leahy Bain. Dr. Joshua Colin Burke. Dr. James Matthew Bishop. Dr. Nathan Timothy Bossy. Dr. Elizabeth Sandra Bowers. Dr. Carly Marie Bowling. Dr. Gartrell Calvin Bowling. Dr. Robert Russell McElroy Bergen. During today's ceremony, we will recognize 4 Surgeons General Awards. The USU faculty selected these students in recognition of their outstanding academic performance and the exemplary manner in which they demonstrate a commitment towards enhancing the goals of the uniformed service they represent. Our next graduate is the recipient of the United States Public Health Service Surgeon General's Award, Dr. Rachel Burris. Dr. Danielle Marie Kane. Dr. Jacqueline Elizabeth Campbell. Dr. Alexandra Campadelli. Dr. Addison Gevins Cantor. Dr. John Joseph Caraway. Dr. Anthony Stephen Caskey. Dr. Keenan Richard Caswell. Dr. Eric Soon Chang. Dr. Som Chaturvedi. Dr. Heaven Cho. Dr. Eliana Clemmer. Dr. Caitlin Claudia Croft. Dr. Emmanuel Cuevas. Our next graduate is the recipient of the School of Medicine Board of Regents Award, as well as one of the 4 recipients of the Vice Admiral James A. Zimble Valedictorian Award, Dr. Lance William Koljak. Dr. Amanda Iquan Dow. Dr. Jimmy Zaid Daoud. Dr. Michael Kevin Deegan. Dr. Devin DeFeo. Dr. Jolie Taylor Duffner. Our next graduate is the first of our 3 graduates from our Physician Scientist program. In addition to receiving her MD degree, she has previously received a PhD from our neuroscience program. Joining in her double hooding is advisor Dr. Barrington Burnett, Dr. Samantha Ann Dumas. Dr. Jeffrey Dunn. Dr. Lauren Mackenzie Edmondson. Dr. Ethan Spencer Elkins. Dr. Dane Michael Fishburne. Dr. Kathleen Flanagan. Dr. Reed Mackenzie Gintner Garner. Dr. Lucas Daniel Gatton. Dr. Samuel Martin Gentle. Dr. Peter Francis Glatt. Dr. Alex Goggin. Dr. Robert J. Golden. Dr. Charles Goodman. Dr. Hannah Josephine Gould. Dr. Andrew Greenhalgh. Dr. Aaron Hedgeland. Dr. Eric Bruce Holm. Dr. John Connor Holman. Dr. Joseph Unsu Hong. Dr. Ryan Andrew Hotchkiss. Dr. Binyam Gurma Hundido. Dr. Catherine Adair Eisensee. Dr. Almaz Jamankulov. Dr. Amelia Jane Joyce. Dr. Anuj Hanu Kambalyal. Dr. David Karapuda. Dr. Jacob Stephen Keith. Dr. Kiana Keller. Dr. Matthew Otto Kesnick. Dr. Cassandra Elise Kijek. Dr. Aaron Jeffrey Kilgore. Dr. Caitlin Waring Kilgore. Dr. Esther Kim. Dr. Nathan Youngjin Ko. Dr. Christopher Kohama. Dr. Marcus James Kunzman. Dr. Marina Martinez Kutchman. Dr. Somin Kwan. Dr. Soon Wook Kwan. Joining in the hooding of our next graduate is her sister, Navy Lieutenant Dr. Karen Lee, School of Medicine, Class of 2023, Dr. Ariella Talia Lee. Dr. Timothy Soonjung Lee. Dr. Joseph Lamond. Dr. Elizabeth Grace Leonard. Dr. Patrick Lisco. Dr. Jonah Mitchell Lewag. Dr. Taylor Sky Mallory. Dr. Kyle Evan Manitz. Our next graduate is the second recipient of the Vice Admiral James A. Zimble Valedictorian Award, Dr. Joseph Michael Mang. Dr. Grace Ann Mano. Dr. Lauren Page Manwaring. Dr. Laura Elizabeth Catherine Martin. Dr. Ashley Ann Matias.
Congratulations.
Dr. Matthew Michael McDonough. Dr. Madeline Brooke McGuffey. Dr. Estefania Mello. Dr. Jamie Lee Menke. Dr. Hannah Rose Mills. Dr. Jocelyn Marie Mittner. Dr. Nicholas Lambert Molinelli. Dr. Aidan Hale Murick. Dr. Alexander James Murray. Our next graduate is the third recipient of the Vice Admiral James A. Zimble Valedictorian Award, Dr. Alexander James Nardoni. Dr. Andrew Frederick Nelson. Dr. Trey Core Nettles. Dr. Anviet Tran Nguyen. Dr. Maya Ohimbo. Dr. Courtney Lynn O'Keefe. Dr. Aubrey Gray Parker. Dr. Rachel Ann Peters. Dr. Benjamin Matthew Phelps. Dr. Diana Marie Phelps. Dr. Robert Grady Pickering. Dr. James Joseph Pierre. Dr. Nathan John Perrone. Joining in the hooding of our next graduate is his spouse, Navy Lieutenant Dr. Jillian Costa, School of Medicine, Class of 2021, Dr. Christopher John Popma. Dr. Chuan Prak. Dr. Pranav Ravichandran. Dr. Thomas John Renner. Dr. Mary Catherine Roby. Dr. Sarah Louise Rodriguez. Dr. Eric Russell. Dr. Samantha Salcido. Dr. Aaron Salo. Dr. Ajay Anil Saraf. Our next graduate is the fourth recipient of the Vice Admiral James A. Zimble Valedictorian Award, Dr. Maria Rose Sarau. Our next graduate is the recipient of the United States Navy Surgeon General's Award, Dr. Michaela Marie Scanlon. Dr. Julius Thatcher Shepard. Dr. Margaret Mary Shields. Dr. Carly Nicole Skellington. Dr. Noah Wallace Smith. Dr. John Solomon. Dr. Jonathan Robert Spurnack. Dr. Marion Joy Beluyet Spirnak. Dr. Arnold John Steinlage III. Dr. Zachary William Stetzner. Dr. Pragash Swarga Loganathan. Our next graduate is the recipient of the United States Air Force Surgeon General's Award, Dr. Lily Margaret Chappell Swope. Dr. Joseph Yising Tang. Joining in the hooding of our next graduate is her husband, Army Captain Dr. Zachary Rickenbach, School of Medicine, Class of 2022, Dr. Jennifer Tang. We next recognize our second Physician Scientist Program graduate. In addition to her MD degree, she is also being conferred her PhD in molecular and cell biology. Joining in her double hooding today is Dr. Andy Snow, a member of her dissertation committee, Dr. Patricia Lucia Teard. Dr. Robert Gregory Trent. Dr. Riley Noel Tucker. Dr. Reese Evan Tuckerman. Dr. Radhika Tyagi. Dr. Gabriel Vargas. Dr. Taylor Marie Walworth. Our next graduate is the recipient of the United States Army Surgeon General's Award and the Graduate School Board of Regents Award. As a student in our Physician Scientist program, she previously received a PhD in molecular and cell biology. Joining in her double hooding is her thesis advisor, Dr. Thomas Davis, Dr. Sarah Ann Walsh. Dr. Annie Yanyu Wang. Dr. Danielle Marie Watkins. Dr. Robert Charles Weishar. Dr. Elena White. Dr. Laura Jane Weissenberger. Dr. Joshua Michael Wilberg. Dr. Perry Wiseman. Dr. Mackenzie Janelle Woodhouse. Dr. Felix Mingtao Yang. Dr. Rona Yu. Our next graduate is the recipient of AMSIS, the Society of Federal Health Professionals Award, Dr. Caitlin Border Zerbrug.
As the last student crosses the stage, the Uniformed Services University has graduated 12,903 health professionals to join the Uniformed Services medical departments. Our alumni practice around the world. Our physicians, nurses, dentists, researchers, enlisted medics, corpsmen, technicians stand in the gap, assuring the health and readiness of the nation's armed forces in battalions, fleets, wings, as well as in joint troop clinics and hospitals. They deploy with their military colleagues to duty stations around the world to repair the damage of deployments and return those who serve to the line. University alumni also serve as special staff and commanders in deployed environments, almost 3 times more frequently than their peers from other accession sources. Some of our alumni will join as researchers in national and academic laboratories to find better ways to treat and prevent illness or injury, or in academic settings, including USU, to educate the next generation. The alumni of this university, uniformed and civilian, respond to disasters and humanitarian emergencies within the United States and around the world. In recent years, they have served to fight COVID at home and Ebola abroad. They've helped with the sequelae of earthquakes and floods, famines and epidemics in the global south, and terrorist activities on 5 continents. When it opened in 1972, the university was seen as an essential component of an all-volunteer military, a way to provide a career cadre of physicians and other health professionals without resorting to compulsory service. And for almost 3 generations, it has redeemed that promise with an unprecedented rate of graduate career service and long-term leadership. This long service retention has opened possibilities of leadership in clinical specialties, patient safety, education, preventive programs, basic and applied research opportunities, in public service. We welcome the class of 2024 to this strong tradition of alumni contributions, and we look forward to the differences that they will make. The United States Marine Band, the President's own, will now play the United States Public Health Service March, followed by the Armed Forces Medley, which includes the official songs of the United States Army, the United States Marine Corps, the United States Navy, the United States Air Force, the United States Space Force, and the United States Coast Guard. According to university custom and in a show of camaraderie, we ask that you stand as you are able and sing as you hear your respective service song, and remain standing for the duration of the medley. Please be seated.
Having received their doctoral degrees, these 154 members of the School of Medicine class of 2024 have turned in their academic robes and now wear their service uniforms to take their oath as commissioned officers in their respective services. The Surgeons General or their representatives will commission the graduates in their branch of service. It is now my extreme pleasure to welcome Lieutenant General Mary Izagari, United States Army Surgeon General, to administer the oath of office to the United States Army medical graduates as new captains.
Thank you, Dr. Woodson. Could I have the United States Army medical graduates please stand? It is my distinct honor to be the first to welcome you to your new integrated professions, two sacred professions, the professions of arms, the professions of medicine. And as the mother of two soldiers, I am very excited to see you enter the ranks, to know that they're going to get the best care of the world, home or abroad, for them and their families. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations. Welcome to the Army.
It is now my pleasure to welcome to the podium Rear Admiral Rick Friedman, Deputy Surgeon General of the United States Navy, to administer the oath of office to the United States Navy medical graduates as new lieutenants. Admiral.
Thank you, Dr. Woodson. Will the United States Navy medical graduates please rise? Shipmates, you are part of the greatest Navy the world has ever known, deployed around the globe, preserving the peace, responding in crisis, and ready to win decisively in combat. Navy medicine plays a key role in that, providing expeditionary capability to our Navy, Fleet Marine Force, and Joint Force while caring for the most deserving beneficiaries in the entire world. You, graduates, are going to be the cornerstone of that care provided. So if you're ready to take the next step on that journey, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations, shipmates. Welcome.
Now it is my extreme privilege and pleasure to welcome Lieutenant General Robert Miller, Surgeon General of the United States Air Force and the United States Space Force, and a graduate of the School of Medicine, class of 1989. Now, we need to call special attention to Lieutenant General Miller today as he's approaching his retirement. But he is clearly an example of the type of product that USU produces, has gone on to do exceptional things with his career and his leadership, and we wish him well in the next chapter of his life. But you have one more responsibility to do here today, and that is to administer the oath of office to the United States Air Force medical graduates as new captains. Thank you, General Miller.
Well, thank you, Dr. Woodson and Dr. Rice. It's a pleasure to have you here also, sir. And if I could have all of the Air Force medical graduates please stand. And I do have to say that it was 35 years ago, close to this date, that I was in your place and my family was up in the rafters. My wife is here with me today, and truly it's my honor and it's a pleasure to be a part of this ceremony. And I think you all will be the last group of medics, of airmen that I have the honor of doing the oath with as still being the Surgeon General of the Air Force. So with that, if you would please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations, Airmen. I know you will make us proud. Aim high.
Thank you, General Miller, for your leadership, your career of service, and your ability to model behaviors that these graduates can follow. It is now my pleasure to welcome to the podium Rear Admiral Denise Hinton, Deputy Surgeon General of the United States Public Health Service, to administer the oath of office to the United States Public Health Service medical graduates as new lieutenants. Admiral.
Good afternoon, and I do want to say that I'm extremely proud of our United States Public Health Service medical graduates who have made the decision to join our mighty service, one that is solely dedicated to public health. So with that, I want to ask United States Public Health Service medical graduates to please stand. The Surgeon General, Vice Admiral Vivek Murthy, and all the Public Health Service officers and all here want to congratulate you for your commitment to serve our nation and our most vulnerable and underserved communities. With that, I want to ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, state your name. There you go. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of this office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations. Please be seated.
U.S. Public Health Service, small but mighty, all right? Let's give them another round of applause. Some of you may not know the amazing things that they do around the world, not only in this country, but around the world, so thank you. Thank you, leaders and fellow healthcare professionals, for your participation in today's ceremony. I would also like to thank the families and friends of our graduates for the support you have provided to your students, to your husbands, wives, sons and daughters as they've gone on this academic journey. Graduates, please join with me in expressing appreciation to your family and friends. You might want to remain standing for just a second. Graduates, please join me in also thanking the extraordinary faculty and staff that have prepared you for this day and your commitment and their contributions to your education. Let's give them a round of applause.
As our program draws to an end, we wish to express our gratitude to the military personnel and the university's civilian staff members who've contributed so much to orchestrate this memorable graduation ceremony. Please rise for the benediction and remain standing as you're able until the recession is completed.
Receive this benediction. Almighty God, the giver of life, bless these graduates with patience as they explore new horizons. Grant them humility in the face of success and abundance. Grant them compassion for the suffering, sick, and dying. In the darkest of hours, when they face future personal and professional challenges, extend your grace so that they may soar on wings like eagles. They may run and not be weary. They may walk and not be faint, and may they find comfort and healing under your wings. Bless our university, our military, and this United States, class of 2024. We send you forth to do good things. Go in peace. May we say amen.
This concludes the Uniformed Services University Commencement Ceremony for 2024. Sergeant at Arms, retrieve the mace. President Woodson, please lead the academic recession.